What's up, disc golfers? This is Matt Dollar, and I'm here today with round 2 of the Georgia Flying Disc Festival, presented by Latitude 64. Kevin McCoy is our first round leader, shooting 9 under. And if you watched round 1, he was on the featured card. I will be teeing second, throwing the good old Sports Center Cenas. This hole's 300 feet, but definitely does not play that far. Quite a lot of elevation change on this course, and it starts out right here on hole number 1, where you're actually throwing over a little bit of a valley, but the basket's definitely way lower than the tee. That was Snappy Cole throwing a Nova off the tee. Here's Forrest Callaway. You guys probably don't know Forrest Callaway. Fun fact, as you saw right there, he threw a ram 13 times in round 1. Why anyone would do that? I don't know, but we'll find out if he goes back to the ram this round. So Kevin's second shot there catches a little tree and just starts rolling. It actually rolls way down the valley towards this little creek area. He's way down there. I was down there in round 1. There's hardly anything.
Oh my God, what a putt.
But Kevin McCoy is a baller, and he's going to throw that in. And we're pretty surprised, but you know, Kevin does this all the time. He is a master of grinding out those big shots when he really needs it. There's something about really good players trying to save par, especially guys who, you know, are gamers like Kevin, been around forever. When you got to save par, like, sometimes those are when the biggest putts and the best shots just come out. So me and Snappy will grab birdies there. Forrest saves his par, and so does Kevin. We'll move on to hole number 2, 280 feet. I'm going Cenas again. So you really want to go to the right of that tree that I went just to the left of. But if you do go to the left of it, you're fine. However, if you miss to the right side of the tree that defines the right side of the fairway, you have 0 chance of getting a birdie. Kevin's going to join me over in that same area to the left. There's a bunch of trees, but there will also be some kind of look from there, almost always.
Jenga!
Wow, so Forrest almost aces it with a DX Ram, and he actually does go outside of the tree that defines the fairway. There's a little tree and a big tree right beside it, and he went between the two. So Snappy's going to have an unfortunate roll on that upshot. Kevin, McCoy, and myself are both just outside the circle. I'm putting with the Classic Blend Slammer there on that birdie putt. K-Mac putts with the Nova, and we both are going to go ahead and get our birdie from that left side. Snappy, unfortunately, is still trying to save a par. He catches that limb. He's going to have a tough look at bogey now. Wow, it rolls all the way back down. I think the camera might have cut off before it finished rolling. Looks like he didn't even move his position from the first shot. So Forrest gets that ram birdie, and we will move on to hole number 3, short downhill hole. Comes in almost at 300 feet, but it plays really short because of the elevation change.
Oh, might get the little one. Oh, close.
Almost got the little black hole macro basket for the United States Mini Disc Golf Championship that was played this same weekend on these courses, or on this course. Forrest Callaway is going to pull the ram back out yet again, that yellow DX Ram.
Oh!
And that graphic might have gotten in the way there, so we're going to slow-mo replay this. And check out what happens here. He throws the ram, which is a sharp-edged disc, and it goes down and slams that little basket, but somehow that little basket just stands right up. It's a temporary basket with a temporary base. I just have a few cedar chips that I put on top of the bottom of the basket. So
Yeah, nice birdie.
Forrest gets the birdie. The ram was flying down there very nicely, but it might have went deep had it not smashed that little basket. And that basket took a little chunk out of that ram. So we're all going to get birdies here on hole number 3. It is a hole you definitely want to get, but at the same time, it's easy to miss it because of the weird elevation change, the creek right behind it, and the mega shoal to the left of the fairway. Alright, we'll pick it back up on hole number 4, one of my favorite holes on the course. I'm going to go with an escape there. I'm going to finish just a little left. Kevin McCoy, I believe he's throwing a Thunderbird here. I think that's what someone told me. And that's about the most beautiful shot you're ever going to see on this hole. He's just low enough to not hit this tree in the middle of the fairway. Actually knocks off a couple leaves there flying. Has the perfect amount of hyzer at the end. Skips up and it's just going to curl right to the pin. That is an absolute bonus birdie. Forrest looks like he's pulling out, you guessed it, the DX Ram. And this one's going to be too high. Somebody needs to tell him you can't just ram through everything. Alright, Snappy Cole here throwing a T-Bird, I believe, on hole number 4. And he's followed the ram. He's going to run into that tree in the middle of the fairway. That's the tree that makes this hole tough, because you really have to go under it. I mean, obviously you have to go under it, but you really have to go just barely under it if you want to park this hole, as Kevin showed you. So Snappy's got a long putt here for par. Yikes. After taking the double bogey on hole number 2, bouncing back with a birdie, Snappy's going to grab the bogey here, and he is yet to get a par during this round. K-Mac snags the bird. Forrest and I will grab 3s, and we will move on to hole A. There's our buddy Brian Gort, featured in the first round action. Hole A is 357 feet uphill, playing a little bit more like 380. It was a foggy morning out here on Sunday morning. We actually played a little later than normal because we had a round of the U.S. Mini Disc Golf Championship starting at 8 a.m. and then this round of disc golf started at 10:30. But it looks much earlier with all the fog, making an overcast morning. Ram power yet again. Here it goes, DX Ram.
Great shot, Forrest.
I'm actually convinced that had he not smashed that basket a few holes ago, that disc would not have made it all the way to the pin. Forrest throws really hard though, but I don't know, it just looked like it released and went a little bit straighter than it would have at the beginning of this round. And Snappy's going to make birdie with a very nice spin putt there. Kevin McCoy will also make his birdie, putting with that Nova. And here I am putting with the slammer. It's always good when you can make a putt on your own practice basket. This is my dynamic disc recruit basket here. And Forrest is just going to be dropping in after parking it with the DX Ram. So we're going to move on to hole B. Hole B comes in just under 300 feet downhill. Pretty standard shot. However, there is out of bounds inside the circle left and right and a little bit deep too. Basically, there's just a horseshoe of out of bounds. So you need to park it or be short and in the middle of the fairway. So far, everyone's parking it in this group, and Forrest is going to pull out the Ram. He is just raining death from above with Ram hyzers right now. Snappy Cole's going to follow everyone else's hyzer route. Looking very nice. This is a hole that you expect to see the lead card and open get a birdie on every time. Some of the other groups are not going to be so fortunate with the out of bounds so close. And as expected, we will all card the birdie there on hole B, and we will move back to the regular course, and we will be on hole number 5, the 7th hole of our video. 665 feet, par 4. We have an OB line on the right side of these trees on the right, not the right side of the screen now, but the right side of the screen now. So there's an OB line over there, and there's an OB line on the left that kind of keeps you out of the creek. So out of bounds everywhere on this one, but it's a pretty generous fairway to land your tee shot in. As you saw, Kevin played it pretty safe. I bit off a little more.
Be around. Be around.
And as you can hear, our group is just loving Forrest ripping that Ram on every hole. It's just hilarious. I want to say it's like a speed 6 or something. Snappy throws a very nice easy hyzer into the middle of the fairway. So K-Mac left himself way more than I think he wanted to here. Off his tee shot, that is. So on the second shot, it was coming in a little shorter than he wanted and caught the top of the last tree and dropped back on this side of it. So he's going to be in a really tough position. Forrest throws another ram shot, and it looks pretty good. Snappy's going to go big hyzer. That was a fun shot to watch right there, and he looks like he's parked. I'm going with a felon. That was defender off the tee. Now, there is a creek to the left of the basket, but it's super sandy right there, and that felon was coming straight down, not a big skipping disc. I was pretty surprised to come up here and find myself not parked. Kevin's stuck in that weird position, has to throw a weird shot. He's going to have to settle for a bogey after the unfortunate second shot, forcing into that weird third shot. So I was indeed out of bounds. There I am looking around for the mark of where I came in. I was really surprised that one rolled out of bounds, but I'll settle for par. Snappy and Forrest will get birdies, and Forrest is going to pull out that ram yet again here on hole number 6. 805 feet, par 5. So the OB line on this one is on this side of these trees on the right side of your screen, so you got to be really careful. The thing about this hole is it's not a very long par 5, but the second shot is usually a short shot, so it doesn't really matter how far you throw it off the tee unless you have snappy-like distance, because we're just trying to throw hyzers, get it in the fairway, and then throw a putter mid-range to get us at the bottom of the hill, in the gap, facing uphill to the basket. Snappy, however, throws so far that he can throw a hyzer over on a second shot. So my hyzer tee shot got me on the short tee pad. I'm going to stand still my Cenis, and the one good thing about having that basket right there, the mini basket that is you can see it from the fairway, and you know exactly where you need to land to go up in that gap, because there's a mini hole that plays down that gap. So usually you're just trying to judge where you think the gap is, and a lot of people generally come up short. So being able to kind of measure it with that basket, I think made this hole play a little easier this weekend. You know what else makes it play easier is when you can throw really far, but that doesn't always pay off. Now we think this is going to land up there on the hill near the road. Unfortunately, it comes rolling out of here. Rolls all the way across the fairway and out of bounds. That is just some of the worst luck that could possibly be had on this hole. I'm going to go upshot with a compass there. And it should put me up there for a birdie chance. Probably not parked, but speaking of parked, Kevin's going, I believe that's his pinky rock, and he appears to be parked. Forrest does not throw a ram here. He actually throws a slammer after about 9 straight ram shots in a row. But it appears he'll be parked for his birdie. And Snappy needs to make this just to save bogey after that. Oh, after that terrible roll. Luckily that one bounces in, and he'll get out of here with a 6, which is not a good score, but had that one pop back out, it could have turned much worse. Everyone else is going to card the birdie, and we're going to move on to hole number 7 after we climb this big old hill. So ram power back in effect. Forrest goes ram again here on hole 7. He's going to pull it right side, catch a branch, and that's going to knock him into some trouble. I'm going with that green escape again that Cody Bradshaw gave me a few years back when he switched over to Prodigy. I believe K-Mac's throwing that same Thunderbird again. He catches a bad limb here, and he's going to be in some trouble too. He actually kicks straight backwards, right and off the fairway. Oh yeah, here's K-Mac. This is way harder than it looks, I promise you. So it looks like he just throws a, standard shot, but he had no angle to the basket, so we're going to slow-mo replay this. Watch, he's actually going to go inside this tree right there. That's insane. He had this whole fairway to work with, but he would not have been able to bend it around and get it to the pin probably. So instead, he took like a 1 to 2 foot gap and throws a driver standstill all the way up to the pin. Hats off to Kevin for 2 of the best recovery shots I've seen this year, both in the first 9 holes of this round. So Forrest and Snappy have both thrown Well, they were in tough spots off the tee. Neither one's going to be able to get near the pin for their par, so it looks like they're both going to take bogeys here. Snappy with a pretty decent putt just to get his bogey. I'm going to tap in for the birdie with the escape I threw off the tee, and that's going to move me into the lead, I believe, for the first time of this event. Wow, K-Mac was absolutely parked. That was crazy. So we're going to move on to hole 8, which is the last hole of our video. This is a shorty coming in under 200 feet. You just want to throw a putter or mid-range, soft and straight. Now, it is over this valley, so if you do miss the gap, you are not going to have a putt for birdie. Ooh, Kevin's gotten away with one here. He was a little bit right, but I believe he's still going to have a putt.
Yeah. Yes.
And Forrest does not throw the ram. He said he threw a, I believe it was a Rock X. That's what he threw a thumber with there. I have no idea why either, but it worked perfectly. So Snappy and K-Mac are going to find the right side, but then they will both find the bottom of the basket for birdie. Forrest will tap in after his thumber, and I'm going to put it in with the tap it in with the judge through the Sports Center Scenes there off the tee. So after these 10 holes, we're at I'm at 16 under par. Kevin's 1 behind. Forrest is only 3 behind, and Snappy's fallen off a little bit. He's only 1 down on the front 10 for a 9 down total. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please join us for the second part of this round.